So we just wrapped up Monday Night Raw, and honestly, overall, it seemed like a pretty good night. There's a lot of stuff that happened tonight, and let's just dive straight into it. I don't want to take too much time on this one because it feels like we are still kind of stuck in the middle between a bunch of different stories, and I kind of just want to start chopping things down. So first of all, start the night off with Liv Morgan and Dom. They come out, and Liv says honestly a lot of facts. First things first, four-time women's champion. Is she the goat of the women? And when it comes to tag team championships, I, I guess so, right? Because no one else has done what she's done. Uh, no one else has beat Io Sky as many times as she has, right? And I think that we're at a point right now where it's about that time for Io Sky to give up and drop the title. Um, she's had it for almost 60 days now, and she's only had one, maybe two fights defending the title. She hasn't really done any promos. She hasn't done really anything to push the title forward or to move WWE the needle forward. In my opinion, I think that WrestleMania, Rhea should have won, and I think the title would have been in better hands with Rhea. Also, I think that with Bianca breaking her finger, I think that kind of screwed up some stuff that was supposed to happen post WrestleMania. But that's neither here nor there. I guess we'll never know, right? But it's kind of crazy that Io Sky has had the title longer than Jey Uso had the title. I think that is pretty strange, and it's kind of weird when you really think about it like that, especially with the amount that Jey Uso's on TV compared to Io Sky. Um, we also had the women's Queen of the Ring qualifier, where, if I'm honest with you, the match itself wasn't the best, but the ending was pretty good. The ending was unpredictable, and I didn't really expect it. There was a lot of dead parts of the match where it felt like the crowd wasn't into it. The crowd just was sitting down. They weren't like really cheering. It was just like dead silence, and I thought that was really strange. Um, and I don't know if that's just I don't know what that is or why they're doing it. I'm not a professional wrestler, so I'm not here to tell you why. But I do want to say that Raquel definitely does not get enough credit, and they don't, in my opinion, they don't do a good enough job making her feel big defensively. Offensively, she does a great job. She comes in, she's dominant, she throws people around, but she just falls too easy. She gets hurt too easy. When she does get knocked down, she's down for minutes. There's way too many segments where Stephanie Valkyrie was just fighting people in the ring, where everyone else is like on the ground outside of the ring, and I find that they do that way too much recently, especially in fatal four ways or even in tag matches. It just seems too like, let's focus on this person for this period of time, and they're gonna magically get up and roll into, like, it just feels too scripted. I didn't like that. Um, the one part that was very very out of nowhere was obviously Rhea Ripley coming out. I did not expect her to show up at all tonight. I hate that they don't use her more often. Again, she's probably the biggest superstar in all of WWE right now, but her taking out Raquel when she was about to win was huge, and it honestly allowed um, Asuka, I hope I'm saying that right, to ultimately win and move on to the next round. Judgment Day, a lot of stuff brewing with them as well. I thought that they did. I think that they've been doing a really good job with slowly with slow roasting the Judgment Day. Literally from last year, having Priest and Rhea and all those guys in it, to fizzling those guys out, to then now you got Dom and Liv, and there was Carlito and all that stuff that fizzled all that stuff out, and now we're kind of here in this weird place where you see things, you see the tension between Liv and Raquel, and Liv and Roxanne, and Finn kind of doing these little things, and then Dom and Finn, like, there's, you can tell that it's on the way to explode. Um, but every single week we get a little bit closer to that, and I just really appreciate the time that they're taking in order to really grind out the Judgment Day. Um, Gunther came out, and honestly, I think that Gunther did in one night what Jay did in 51 days. Hate to say it. Jay said more words tonight than if you combine pretty much all of Jay's title reign since WrestleMania. Uh, I thought that before Goldberg even came out, that he did a great job of setting up what he was looking for. And I mean, honestly, if he stopped right there and that was into the segment, I think that he did a great job setting up what he was going to do next. Where with Jay, we didn't necessarily see Jay come out and just start talking and cut a promo or cut a segment like that. And so I thought that was really good. But we did get Goldberg finally returning. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about Goldberg returning. I even saw his trainer post that he was going to have a retirement match, and I didn't know how true it was. Although I did suspect that he would come back against Gunther. Uh, I just was kind of like, there's no way that he's like actually going to do it. And so it's really cool to see him do it. My prediction is that he comes back. He um, I don't know if this. I'm pretty sure it's a title shot. Um, if it is a title shot, I suspect that Goldberg will win. He's not gonna lose his retirement match, especially someone like Goldberg who's been dominating his whole career. And I expect that Seth cashes in on whoever wins that match, um, on whoever has the title at the end of that match. So if it is a title shot, Goldberg wins. Seth and the faction is cashing in on Goldberg. If it's not a title shot, and Goldberg wins, they're cashing in on Gunther. And now, do I know if they're gonna if it's gonna be successful? I have no clue, but that's just what I think, and I think that's how Seth's gonna get the title. Um, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. I want to see how that's gonna play off or play out, and I would like them to do it before then, but we'll see what happens. JD and AJ, I didn't really understand the point of this fight. I don't really understand why they needed to do this. Um, It was also kind of boring. There was a lot of phases in there where it was really dry, really dead, and the ending was just awful in my opinion. I think they're really just trying to set up AJ versus Dom soon. We had Bailey come out, and it was also just pretty dead. There was a lot of dead segments in tonight, especially with the first half of Bailey's segment with her out there by herself. Becky Lynch really did bring a different dynamic to just that whole segment. And I think someone like Becky is exactly what Bailey needs. I think that Bailey has this shell where she doesn't want to get out of, and I think Becky, just like she did with Lyra, kind of she knows how to poke, and she knows how to, get you out of your shell. Like for her, just like even leaning back on the ropes and doing this, like her body language is just really good. And so I think that both Bailey and Lyra need someone like Becky in order to move their career forward. Um, Liv Morgan also, we had Liv Morgan versus Kyrie Zane, which was kind of weird how far to the end of Raw it was. And so I'm assuming that they were gonna have before the match started, I thought that they would have Roxanne come out and interfere, and then that would kind of, you know, cause just more stuff between Liv and Roxanne, kind of get that story moving forward. But Liv gets injured, which really sucks because she's been on it lately. Like the Nikki Bella stuff, the Netflix stuff, the title stuff, the tag chat. Like she's been really, really doing a lot for Raw lately. And so without her, I don't know what they're gonna do, who they're gonna replace that time with. If this is where Rhea will get her chance to kind of, I don't want to say even boost herself up because she's already at the top, but like, will we see Rhea more because Liv's gone? I don't really know. Will we see Raquel more because Rhea's gone? I don't know. Um, but I hope that she's not like hurt, and that this is only a something short. But We'll see what happens. Um, Karrion Cross getting a lot more screen time, which is good. It's not like a ton, but it is better than none. I thought that he told great stories, a great story tonight without even saying much. Like he does a really good job with his facial expression. Goodness gracious, he does a really good job with his facial expressions and really giving off how he feels while Sammy's talking. And I thought it was just if you go back and watch that segment and just watch how slowly he gets like his anger rises, and at the end of it, he kind of like calms back down. I think that's huge in storytelling. I think it's huge for his character, and I'm really excited to see them just give him more time to see what he will do with the time that he's given. Um, and then, last but not least, we ended up the night with the King of the Ring qualifier, and this match was all over the place. It started off a little wonky, and after the first tsunami on Sheamus, it really picked up steam from there, and we had Braun Breaker come out, and then you had LA Knight come out, and then you had um, Sami Zayn come out, and then Jay wins, and then Seth Rollins comes out, and then Cody comes out, and it was just back to back to back to back to back. And at the end of this, I think that they really wanted to show these two guys, Cody and Jay, were friends, were going to have to fight each other next week. And I don't know if that's going to be the beginning of something new or something that strengthens their relationship even more. Um, and so I'm hoping that they are tighter after this fight and not more separated, because I still think this is a good time for either one of them to turn heel or to make a change in their character. But overall, I thought it was great. I thought that it was cool to see Cody had his back, and I'm just excited to see where they take it from here. And so overall, for Raw tonight, there's a lot of ups, there's a lot of downs, there's a lot of whoa, wow, unpredictable moments, and there's a lot of dead, silent moments. And so, if I'm honest with you, I'm gonna have to give tonight a it's really hard because again, like there was some high highs and some low lows. The thing is, I think the booking wasn't the best. Um, I mean, you did have Goldberg come out tonight. You had Rhea, um, Karrion Cross, and then Cody and Seth. So I mean, I'm gonna have to give it a smooth 6.5. 6.5. Um, Simply because when I look at the matches weren't that good. So the Queen of the Ring fight, the fighting was not good at all. The ending was good, but the fight itself, the whole match, I would not watch that fight again. Um, AJ versus JD fight was terrible. Would not watch that fight again. Kyrie versus Liv, injured. Didn't even really have the fight, especially if you watched it on TV. And then the last fight was okay until the first tsunami, and then it got good. So 1 out of 4 were actually good fights, and I wouldn't even watch that one again. And then outside of that, the only thing that was really big was the Judgment Day story progressing and Goldberg returning and Karrion Cross. So I got to give it a seven, a 6.5. It was a good show, but I think that the in ring really suffered tonight, and hope they can make it up next week. So that's my review for Raw tonight, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.